There is a globalist, populist farmers' uprising all over the world. What's happened? Have all farmers suddenly gone racist? Even the ones in India and Sri Lanka? Hello there, you 6.3 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe right now. We make this content every single day and we want you to receive it, particularly when we're reporting that there's a global agricultural uprising that to me seems like an indication of a new emergent populist movement. Of course it's being smeared. Of course the farmers are being called eco-terrorists who don't care about the planet and the soil that they toil and get their living from. Of course there's ways that things could become more organic, greener and more responsible. But should that be centralised and in the hands of people like Bill Gates, or should it be, I don't know, democratic, localised, collectivised and in the hands of the people directly affected? I spoke to Vandana Shiva, who, as you know, appears at our yearly community festival. There's a link in the description if you want tickets. She told me that the Dutch farmers are the very face of democracy and the attempts to smear them are illegitimate, unfair, centralised propaganda. Stay to the end of this conversation. You're going to learn a great deal. Let me know in the comments what questions I missed, what I should have asked, where I'm going wrong, so we can improve together. Stay to the end. Vandana, one of the things I wanted to start with was this, the new Dutch party, the BBB, who recently have acquired a surprising number of seats in the Netherlands, a party that represents agricultural interests. I don't know much about this party at the moment, what their other affiliations or perspectives are, but I do know that they're representing ordinary farmers against centralised interests. And I know that farmers across the world, whether it's in your country, India, or Sri Lanka, or Germany, or our country, or America, are facing what feels like a sort of a globally coordinated opposition, which often appears to be couched in the language of environmentalism. Firstly, may I ask you, it seems to me whenever we speak that you love the earth quite devoutly, and that many of these arguments that prohibit and inhibit the ability of small farmers to eke out a livelihood are not entirely genuine. Can you just speak to this, the populism around this?
I think the first thing is that it's the farmers' citizen movement. It's not just a farmers' movement. It's the citizens of Netherlands who don't want their economy, their land, their country hijacked. And there are three inconsistencies with focusing on the nitrogen problem at a time where Mr. Bill Gates, with his fake solutions, has photographs all over on his website and in his book called How to Deal with the Climate Catastrophe. I love nitrogen fertilizer. He's standing in front of a fertilizer factory in Tanzania. Now, the problem with nitrogen is synthetic nitrogen fertilizers. Otherwise, nitrogen is the source of life. That's what leguminous plants, the pulses, do for free for us in a non-violent way, not in a violent way. So no, even the AR6, the climate IPCC report that's just been released, doesn't even talk about nitrogen. They've jumped from carbon reductionism into methane. Second is, the nitrogen problem is leading to huge dead zones. It used to be 10 in 1960, became 169 in 2007, and now it's 415 dead zones because the nitrogen runs off, kills the life in the waterways and sea life. Netherlands is not the primary problem. The Baltic Sea and its coastal countries, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Sweden. So if there's a nitrogen problem, look at all of these countries and shift all farmers. And I've worked with farmers and fishermen in the Baltic region, where fishermen and farmers are making treaties that farmers are being told, don't put synthetic nitrogen fertilizer, please put organic, so that the sea can live and we can have a life. All of these are new partnerships that are the real solutions. Why is Netherlands targeted? Three reasons. First, it's a little country sitting in the heart of Europe, next to Brussels. And the real issue on which farmers are agitated is the Tri-City, the land grab. And there are two clear worldviews. For the corporations and the billionaires and the colonialists, land is real estate, land is property. For the people of the land, including the citizens and the farmers, land is the mother, land is the identity. And food, for the corporations, is a commodity. Food for each of us as free citizens, for whom food freedom is the basis of freedom, is the very basis of our identity, our relationship with the earth. So the reductionism by which the Dutch farmers' protest was put into a right-wing slot is really the right wing wanting to hijack the whole planet, our water, our soil, our seeds, our food.
Without our sponsors and partners, we can't bring you this world-changing, life-altering content. So today, I want to talk to you about your internet freedom. Social media companies get to decide what content is suitable for you, and they censor whatever they don't like. Who do you think should decide what you read or watch? Social media, big tech giants, or you? Not only do they censor what you read, but they track what you do online. When you're connected to ExpressVPN, your IP address is hidden. My identity is masked and anonymized by a secure VPN server. Plus, ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your data to protect you from hackers and internet bad guys. And all it takes is one easy tap of a button for ExpressVPN to secure all your devices. It's time to take back your privacy at expressvpn.com/brand. If you visit my special link, you'll get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN service for free. Protect your data today. Now, let's get back to our presentation where we show you how centralized authority and mainstream media narratives are keeping you dumb and distracted. Take it away, other me. It seems that the most essential resources, and even the word resources itself suggests utility rather than a symbiotic relationship with the earth, which is difficult to achieve on a global scale and seems more natural when there is a more integral and local relationship between the earth, between food, between the people that grow it. It becomes impossible. I've noticed that this space has become cultivated and censored by voices that appear to be operating on behalf of censorial forces, authoritarian forces. How is it that someone like Bill Gates has become the face of agriculture, has become the authority on agriculture, when his interests so plainly appear to be motivated by capital and dominion? What is the media structure around this man, and why is it that it's so difficult to criticize him, and why are people that criticize him smeared so aggressively?
Well, the reason Bill Gates is interested in agriculture and food is because that's his new empire. He's worked it out. Just when COVID was hitting, I was on a lecture tour in the US, and the local newspaper called USA Today had talked about how Bill Gates has opened a new global agriculture called Gates Ag One. Gates Ag One. And the offices of this is right next to Monsanto in St. Louis, Missouri. He's imagining one agriculture across the world, growing monoculture crops as feed for lab food. So Mr. Gates wants to control food at 4 levels. He wants to, of course, control land. And he is the biggest farmland owner of America. You know, this thing, oh, it's only this much percent, is like when I was dealing with a mining case for our government. And the industry would say, oh, but you know, the limestone is just this much percent of the value. And so it can't have an impact. But the aquifer is the limestone. It's like saying your heart is just this much percent of your body. Therefore, we can mess it up. No, the percentage as a reductionism doesn't work. Gates wants land. Gates has already taken control of the seed, not only through the seed banks, the global seed banks, but also, and the Svalbard seed banks, but through the new gene editing techniques, and England has just passed its crazy law of total deregulation. But he wants lab food. He wants to destroy real food everywhere. And he wants to work with Bayer for more row crops, farming with drones, no farmers anywhere. He really is looking at a future of farming without farmers. And that's why the violence against the farmers of the world was bad enough when the Green Revolution was introduced in India, in Punjab, which is where the protests began. But today, it's everywhere where farmers stand up. They are labeled in all kinds of ways, rather than people defending their food sovereignty, their seed sovereignty, their land sovereignty, their livelihood sovereignty.
I've seen farmers vilified so aggressively, in particular with the Netherlands. People saying, oh, these farmers are destroying the very land that they cultivate. Why are these professional liberal media voices so quick to criticize and condemn working people? Why are they so willing to shill for globalist interests as so plainly epitomized by Bill Gates and his agenda? Why? I don't understand, Vandana. I don't understand why there are not more voices advocating for ordinary farmers.
Two reasons. First, they don't really have a relationship, either with the land or with the farmers. And when you don't have a relationship, you can be fed anything into your head. And the PR spin and the narratives are replicated. And especially if you're rewarded with all kinds of platforms, then if you don't think through your conscience, you just echo. But the second reason is there are many people who have fallen into this nonsensical eco-modernist trap. And they really see a world without farmers because they've defined, basically, they've forgotten that we are part of nature, that farming with nature is part of nature. And they've defined humans as the enemy of nature and farmers who are the closest to the earth. Agriculture means the care of the land. They are being criminalized, as I said, not only because that is the historical narrative of colonialism, but more seriously, food and land is where the future profits are seen by the billionaires. So land sovereignty and food sovereignty becomes the ultimate defense. And I applaud the Indian farmers who fought for 14 months. We protested in 1993, 500,000. And I applaud the Peruvian farmers who are fighting. Which farmer isn't resisting? Some makes it to the news and the others don't. And the interesting thing is they really try to criminalize the Dutch farmers, and the Dutch citizens joined the farmers and said it's not just about farmers, it's all people. It's about democracy.
That is most encouraging when you say that land and food sovereignty are defining issues of our time and will ultimately affect all of us. Our ability to control our food, our ability to control our land will perhaps become a unifying issue, and perhaps one of the themes and ideas that might unite the people of the world against these centralizing forces that want to technologize and industrialize yet further agriculture, take it out of the hands and the souls of the people that have these intimate relationships with the soil and the land, in order to, whether or not they believe that they're pursuing something that is righteous, they are ultimately facilitating and shilling for very, very powerful interests that ultimately would disempower billions of people.
And, I started to look at agriculture after 1984 with what happened to the land where I studied in Punjab and the land of the 5 rivers. And I just want to show you. Land of the 5 rivers by the chemical agriculture and green revolution has been reduced to a dead zone. Land of 5 rivers destroyed. So the water crisis, the climate crisis, the biodiversity crisis, our health crisis are all interconnected with a system that they want to accelerate further. More industrial farming, more industrial food, which is at the root of the problem. But food is our communication with the soil, with the biodiversity, with our gut microbiome. It's the ultimate, food is community. And whoever doesn't want community, either in human community or in the ecological community, they will assault in every way. And this is just the contemporary witch hunts. It's just a contemporary version of witch hunts.
Even in secular cultures, food remains a sacrament, a connection to the land, to the divine, to the unknowable forces that mean that food is presented, that food grows and sustains, and through husbandry and agriculture can be managed. But there is a component that we can never fully, truly understand. And I can see why they want to turn everything into data and make everything about control control, even as always, while presenting it as being about safety and security. Ultimately, these things end up being about control. Well, did you enjoy that conversation? Do you feel a little bit smarter now? Do you feel better informed? Do you agree with me that Vandana Shiva is one of the great and most significant voices in the current global conversation? Let me know in the chat, in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and remember to share it around, particularly if you're a member of the agricultural community being affected by this worldwide blight. For me, this movement is an indication that people are coming together, not an indication that things are falling apart. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these. Turn on the notification bell right now. We need you to watch our content, but more important than any of that is that you please stay free.